Yes, sir. So, bros, we got a segment right here talking about there's a shortage in black sperm donors. But they're not bringing people up here that represent traditional relationships. They're talking about there's a shortage in black sperm donors for lesbians. Hmm. So, you got these lesbians out here walking the streets and these shenanigans they call relationships, trying to imitate black men because essentially they're saying that black men are really not that important. They could replace you, they can imitate you, they could do something better than you can. That's treat a woman, be in a more productive relationship with the woman more than you can because she's one. Not understanding the dynamics of same sex relationships and the mental breakdown of that, that's another story. But when you look at that dynamic, you got to understand that's all that BLM pushes. All these woke sisters that you see on the internet, this is what they're all for. When you see that the leaders of this movement being woke are three lesbians slash pansexuals, understanding that all of the images, the philosophies and agendas that they push has no interest, is doing nothing for black men in America. You could try to tell woke Negroes this. They might get offended and whatnot, try to call you selfish because you're trying to tell the truth about this movement and how they're trying to shit and replace black men, using your energy from deaths to pop up to talk about defund the police, but don't talk about deaths in their own neighborhood. We don't see press conferences when it comes to that matter. Everything is just about the black man being non existent, falling back to the shadows, pushing you back. When you see the agenda on their About page before they scrubbed it, they're talking about destroying the patriarchy, bros. Has nothing to do with the white man's patriarchy and household that reigns supreme in their existence. No, sir. They're talking about the black man being a leader in his own household. Everything is about you're not that important. You're replaceable. They want to embrace, they want to encourage trans leaders, queer leaders, these lesbian leaders and whatnot. This mega matriarch, bros, that's been reigning supreme for however long. You got woke Negroes that support it. Nowhere in this agenda, just like Stacey Abrams' agenda, is there anything in these about pages on the internet that tell you what they're about has anything to do with straight black men. But they need you. They need your energy. And they need, most importantly, your seed, your semen. These lesbians could try to imitate you, duplicate you, take two women off the market that could be in productive relationships. All they want. But they cannot procreate. There's no immaculate conception scissoring out here in the West. No, sir. So they're going to need you one more time. But for the woke Negroes that out here acting like beta males, they're ready to be surrogate fathers. They'll probably do this for their homegirl, quote unquote. The chick that they was trying to get ass from subconsciously. Acting like they're just friends, no doubt. They could do that. But bros, once you saying that you want to indulge into this alternative lifestyle because you feel as if you can't connect with a black man, but you would want to have a black baby and black families and whatnot, bros, you're pretty much saying that you're not an adequate individual to procreate with. No, sir. You're off the market. So, bros, understanding just like in the movie She Hate Me with Anthony Mackie, all of these groups, they literally hate you. No doubt about it. The black lesbian hates you the most because she really wants to be you and imitate you. But are you gonna basically understand, with understanding that though, bro, are you gonna help these alternative lifestyle relationships with your seed. Having sex with numerous lesbians and whatnot, helping them out. You gotta be shitting me. But let's check out this segment right here because, like I said, these black lesbians want to have black babies, but they don't want to have relationships with a black man. Make it make sense.
Uncensored. And welcome back to the second half of The Factor Uncensored. Where are all the black sperm donors? There have been a shortage in supply in recent years. Experts believe the reason is due to a lack of trust for the medical community. And there could be other reasons. Tonight, we're learning how it's affecting a lesbian.
There's a lack of black sperm donors, but according to the media, social media, they're out here being called deadbeats, fuck niggas, everything that you hear on the hip hop radio space. They're out here getting put away in jail over child support. They're having fallouts with the baby mothers, or maybe they just were not existent, or maybe they just were not in that child's life. So there's plenty of black sperm donors if you really want to dice it up.
Hoping to conceive. Joining us here on The Factor Uncensored is Kimberly Thomas, and she is here with us in the studio tonight. So first of all, establish who you are. You are a lesbian.
I am. I'm Kimberly Thomas. I'm a 40-year-old cisgender black lesbian woman.
40-year-old cisgendered black woman. All of these labels. Check it out. You could call yourself a cisgendered woman all you want. These super left woke people want to put all of these labels on everybody just so they could feel as if they're making you more equal to the next person when you're fighting a mental disability. People are out here playing without a full deck. They're trying to make them feel more regular. Cisgendered woman. Now you got a transgendered woman and we're supposed to be looking at them the same. This woman right here, 40 years old, black lesbian, is not an adequate partner to procreate with. Is that a knock on her? Of course not. But nobody is out here acting, I promise you, nobody would be asking any black woman out here that might be putting her baby up for adoption who she should be giving her babies to.
You confused with all that cis. I told you, what does cis mean
So
for
cis
the viewer?
means I am a woman, born a woman,
Okay.
present as a feminine woman.
And so, are you in a relationship right now?
I am. I'm
okay.
engaged.
And so you are hoping to have a child.
I am.
And so you've been out looking for black sperm donors, not the actual donors,
Right.
but sperm banks
Right.
with black sperm donors, and it's been tough.
So out of maybe 200 donors, I'm going to say that we ran across 6 that were actually black.
Damn.
Damn is right. Serves her right, man. You out here trying to search for black sperm. And then you wanted to be going through all of these stipulations. Why isn't this segment about a black woman who was in the work field? She's a career woman and wasn't able to be making the time for casual arrangements and meetups for people, miscellaneous men on the internet and dating apps. Why is this about the lesbian dynamic? This isn't the majority. This isn't the traditional way, but this is the modern family. Remember that. When you want to support BLM and you got people walking around with rainbow flags in their statuses and bios and whatnot, this is what you're supporting. They're making this a you issue now, bros. They can't just have anything specifically directed towards black men. They can't do that because they're correlating your issues, everything that you go through, all of your dramas and problems that you're trying to solve with those of the alternative lifestyle as if their plight is something that is supposed to trump yours. That's why you got to tell people to go about their business with their own issues. You got bigger fish to fry. But radical black women, they don't see this shit. This is why they get used heavily. They want them to be the leaders. Remember this. The Democratic Party is on their shoulders. Where are you?
In
And were you
94.
shocked when you heard there are 200 donors, only 6 are black?
Absolutely. It's shocking. I'm not gonna say it's disparaging, but I'm a black woman who wants black children. I don't want a donor who is of another race.
And we don't want you to be searching for donors to begin with until you say that you want to be in a traditional relationship. Let's be honest. Let's be real. You got people out here providing their sperm and don't even understand where their sperm is going. That's on them, though. You got people that are down and out putting a couple $100 on something that's priceless.
And that's just my own preference because I'm black, right? So when I'm going in looking for donors, that's the very first thing that I'm looking for.
And so when you go to these sperm banks or facilities or institutions, what do they tell you?
They tell you that there's a shortage. They don't explain why there's a shortage, but of course they say that there is a shortage. They will tell you we have people that are 6'5" and that have played sports and that have all of these other qualities. But my concern is having a black donor specifically.
And so we heard in the intro here, it may be because they don't trust the medical industry, but you think it's something else.
I actually believe that it's the social disparities of health. And the reason why I say that is because black men are not in a space where they can.
Now understand this, and this is becoming more common. You're having these radical black women and you're also having these lesbians speak for black men. They're giving the black man's point of view from their eyes, their opinions, their biases. How can they do that? Nobody else out here is speaking for anybody. And if black men were out here trying to speak in any way, shape, or form for black women, they would be getting backlash. We see this on a day-to-day basis. Let's run it back.
But you think it's something else.
I actually believe that it's the social disparities of health. And the reason why I say that is because black men are not in a space where they can meet the requirements that the sperm banks ask for. You have to be between the ages of 18 and 35. You need to know your board of health in regards to your family's background. And you also have to have a clean board of health when you are given a sperm. A donation, which means that you would have to have went to the doctor more recently.
So complete medical records.
Absolutely.
Including your family's history as well.
Correct.
And you believe many black men don't have that, and so they're not able to donate.
Either that or they're failing. And if you come.
When you see the imagery that BLM pushes, the victims of these unfortunate killings, majority of them, if not all, is a criminal, current, former, some dude that was on drugs. The majority. We don't really see too much imagery of Jerome that works in the office for 10 to 12 hours. Something took place with him. We don't see anything with Josh, the construction worker, who works 5 to 5. Anything taking place with him. We see it with the same people. Not saying that anybody's death is worth more than this, because everybody has potential to change for the better. But when they're trying to make the normal, regular image of black men in America being a degenerate, a thug, a baby daddy, a good-for-nothing dude that's worth nothing more than money in a semen donation, bro's got to be on top of that. You got this radical lesbian talking about it's either the disparities in the medical field or they're a felon. As to why there's not more black sperm donations. Not understanding that because of her bozo choice and diving into this alternative lifestyle is why she's not going to get any donations from black men, because they're out here donating or inseminating the traditional way. Let's be honest.
History as well.
Correct.
And you believe many black men don't have that, and so they're not able to donate.
Either that or they're a felon. And if you come from a marginalized community, third ward, and you have to go out and get it how you live, or or hustle, more than likely you have a felony, which means that you can't give a donation.
And so what does that leave you as an individual who's still hoping to have a black child?
So there are Facebook groups, but that's not the safest way.
Now, when you say there are Facebook groups, what does that mean?
Do you think any of these liberal women that go on dating apps, random hookups, do you think they're going through a checklist when they're about to get raw dogged from some dude that they're going to want to let hit smash right there and then in the moment? They're going to these banks with all of these stipulations, but not understanding if you were in a regular relationship with somebody hard body, you would not have to worry about any of these concerns. But you want to go the long route, the alternative route and whatnot, so you're going to have to go about these ways in unconventional ways. Talking about it's not safe. You already got enough people indulging in unprotected sex that this is pretty much the norm. Not everybody is getting up with people asking them when was the last time they got tested and beyond. You could say around 2020 with the quarantine baby wave that a good amount of people were asking that when did you get COVID? What's your temperature? Things in that nature, because of course people were still getting up, but people were shook. Especially these woke women on the left, bro. Nobody was more scared and petrified than them. And then that's why they push more men to get in these vaccines when they don't really want to, but they fearmonger. They talk about the kids. They talk about them. They talk about the science.
So on Facebook, as you know, they have groups where you can actually go and you talk about things, and they have groups that are specific to Houston, Texas, Harris County, San Antonio, Texas. They have black donor groups where men are offering to give you a donation. Now, that means for me that it's not going to be tested. They are not going to go through the correct testing that I would actually need them to go through. And I'm also getting just a base donation, which means that I don't know whether they are carrying a communicable disease or any of that. I'm just getting a donation.
And does that leave you frustrated?
Extremely frustrated, extremely confused, and then also concerned.
So
you're extremely confused. I promise you that. I'll bet money on the house that this individual was the one that got turned out. Probably one of these hopeless romantics that had a traumatic experience in a relationship, can't get over it, and I promise you she got turned out by one of these agents that infiltrate these groups of lonely sisters and turns one of them out, brings them over to the dark side. Just peeping the way that she's carrying herself, you could just tell that she's not really the aggressor. She's the one that got converted into that lifestyle. A good amount. Another thing too is with these radical women, bros, they spend their time in their 20s and whatnot, prime years, running the streets, ripping and running, doing all this and that. They wait till their mid-30s and 40s to start worrying about their grill, talking all that shit in the hot years. Then now you want to get retainers and mouth guards while you're in your 40s, mid-30s and whatnot. You already know right then and there that that chick was moving in another direction. Be easy.
what's the option for you now?
We're just going to keep looking. Because at this point, I am a black woman. My fiance is a black woman. She is from D.C., you know, that's Chocolate City. So we want a black child.
I mean,
Y'all want a black child more than y'all want a black relationship the traditional way, talking about you're a black woman, and that's where they get you, bros. They keep talking about these topics that say black woman or whatnot. Then they throw in minority, then they throw in all these other groups to correlate all of these problems. She's a black lesbian. We got to call it for what it is. Out here looking for black sperm because she wants a black baby. 200 donors and there were only 6 black donors. That's 6 too many. I get it. You got people out here trying to donate to people that may have gone through something, but we're not hearing about these stories. We're not hearing about people that went through something that was life-changing and they can't produce. We don't hear about that. We're hearing about how can black men pretty much assist the alternative lifestyle in procreating.
What if you get like a white or Hispanic donor, you get a light-skinned child, but it's still black? There's you in it, right?
I mean, that is a part of me.
Uh-huh.
But
You could love that child,
I could
right?
love. I mean, I just really want a healthy baby. But for me, it is important.
But at some point, you can get past that, right?
Maybe we'll see.
See, we got a breakthrough here on the fact.
We'll so if and when we get through,
Your fiance, she's at home like, you done tripped. You got up there with Isaiah, you saying anything.
We're gonna go with what our plan was originally. But if that changes, I'll make certain that I send you updates.
Okay, all right. Well, we want to
will.
thank you for joining us.
Like I said, bros, when you support BLM being ultra progressive, in support and encouraging all of these lifestyles, encouraging these radical black women to move in whichever way they want to, whichever way makes them feel better at that moment. Understanding that this is the effect of that. To where all of these groups that can't stand you, but they're sitting there talking about protect black men, understanding that they're just trying to do their job to replace you and take you out of the mix. 2 women are off the market to be in functional relationships, but they want to be in the alternative lifestyle, be in this quote unquote marriage together and have a kid and bring it into that household. No doubt. It's enough of that. I'm out.